Welcome to the Not Nerd Show. I'm Nate Heath, and we're here to help you tech better. Here with me, as always, Mr. Dave Baylor.
Well, hello there. Hey there. Hi there, Nate. Sorry, I switched to
Oh,
myself instead of the dual shot. How's
yes.
it going today? Let me go back here so I can see you. There you
The
are.
theme song got a little stuttery for me,
It
but
did for me as well. I just thought it was me, but you know what? We're just gonna let it happen. Just
okay.
let it happen. Let it happen. Looks and sounds good.
Remix.
uh, so how's it going? Things look a little bit different there in Not Nerd
Yes, I'm getting
headquarters
an.
east.
Oh, never mind.
You're
I was
getting an
wondering
echo.
why I was getting an echo is because I was trying to listen to the show to make sure the audio was working good. So
Yeah.
that, yes, we do have a little different setup. If you've been around the show for a while, you'll recognize that this is the non-green screen backdrop here, and that was because I had a green hat that I
Oh
wanted
yeah.
to put on this week. I think this is my newest hat. I'd have to check my Amazon orders, but pretty much my newest hat.
Oh wow. Mama needs a beer. And what's the small word say?
It is Breakside. I think it just says Breakside. Yeah, Breakside with the Breakside Brewing logo. If you follow
Nice.
PDX Fast Foodie, you will be very aware that I partook in Portland Mercury's Wiener Week last week. We're over, I think it was 40 different restaurants came up with a specialty hot dog of some sort. And I went out with some guys to try some. We went to Breakside. They had a black with yellow text, Daddy Needs a Beer, just a very straight font. And then they had
Yeah.
this green one with yellow text and a fun font that said Mama Needed a Beer. So with the guys I was with, I flipped a coin to see which one I would purchase. But it was only $15, which some of you might say, "Oh, that's a lot." But I've been to places where they trying to sell you their brand on a trucker hat for $35.
Yeah.
So
And I saw a lot of those videos.
yeah,
Looks like you guys had a good time. So did you hit like 3 places in one day? Is that correct?
5 in
Five
one
places
afternoon.
in one day? That's
Yes,
ridiculous.
yes, that was. There was 4 of us, some other guys that work at the Marathon Taverna where I DJ on the weekends, and I'd been talking to the security guard about doing it, and got on a group text, and we went and did it. So a peek behind the curtain that I did not talk about in the video is that after the first one, I split hot dogs, or I
Mm.
split the specials with one of the other guys. But yeah, it was. How much for? Oh, Wes is in the chat. How much for a not nerd trucker hat, Wes? For you, I will give a discount of $45.
What? Oh, I a disc. Now, what is the price though?
Uh,
$50?
Wes, they're usually 67.50. So you're getting like 1/3 off at 45
Wow,
bucks. It's a
that's a bargain.
screaming deal.
Don't go to Wikipedia and look up price anchoring. Do
Yes.
not do that.
Wes, I I didn't want everybody else to hear, but I'll hook you up.
Yeah, he said put him down for two. First one's free. Second one.
Yeah. Yes. No, I'm working on my hat company. As you know, if you've been around, I've started making some hats, and
Well, let's publish this sucker and start selling them.
yeah.
I mean, I can come up. I've actually seen a few bumper sticker slogans and window stickers that I've neglected to share with you and producer Todd. And sometimes I take a picture on the road and I'm like, I should send that to those guys. But I think I have a whole horde of great sayings that
Great
I've ripped
idea.
off from other places that you could put on your hats
Yeah.
and sell them. They ripped them off
Well,
from somebody.
I've got an Apple Note where as soon as I think of a hat idea, because I've had lots of hat ideas over the years that I'm like, ah, that one was really good. What was it? But
Yeah.
uh, yes. Well, before we get to what I'd selected for our main topic this week, we've got all kinds of stuff to talk about today. But Apple had a little uh, announcement.
Yeah, they did. They they uh, they had this little thing they're calling. Here, I'm going to zoom in a little bit here. They're calling, and half my screen is missing. It's Apple
Nice.
Invites. Apple Invites, a new app
Yes.
that brings people together for life's special moments. And I'm going to leave this on here for a moment, um, if you do not mind.
Yeah. Yeah. So you actually sent Todd and I an invite for the show tonight. So if you've ever used, say, Evite
Mm-hmm.
or Facebook events, this is very similar to that with some added Apple features. I'm a little perplexed behind why. And
Right?
I think you said in our text thread, why isn't it just part of the calendars app in an
Yeah.
update or something? It's its own app. So you go to the App Store, you download Apple Invites, and then you go through a couple screens and you can start creating invite. Now it has a lot of very Apple-y features. You can add big, nice pictures. It's kind of designed to be seen on the phone. But it can be accessed via the web. Their servers were having some
Yeah.
issues today.
Well, and you
I
need to
watched
share
a
it with people
video.
who are non iPhone users, right?
Yes, yes, because that would be a little limiting. Now, I think you have to be an Apple One member to be able to create the invites.
Oh, wow. Is it just like, is that a beta or is that the way it's going to be?
I my understanding is that's the way it was going to be. I watched a video earlier today with Robles. Who's that guy? You know who I'm
Mm,
talking about, the tech guy. Um,
possibly.
yeah, Stephen Robles. I don't know, but anyways, his was the first video that came up of about the Apple Invites app, everything you need to know, and he did what I'm guessing a lot of people are doing is he created an invite, put it in the YouTube notes, and opened up the invite to
Oh,
whoever. It wasn't
he's the
limited.
one who
Just
broke the thing.
yeah. Well, I'm guessing everybody that put a YouTube video out about it. I thought about setting one up and putting it in our chat because that would really break the servers.
Yeah, it would.
Um, but yeah, it's cool.
It's, I think Stephen Hackett from Relay, they're not Relay FM anymore. It's just
Mm.
Relay, which makes less sense. But he he was is pouring one out for Apple Cards or iCards. Remember
Oh
that
yeah,
thing, which is a very similar tool where you can build a little invite and actually have it get printed. Actually, or was that one just a virtual one? It might have been a virtual one. I
yeah.
can't remember. But all things, there's nothing new under the sun. Everything
Yeah.
comes back, and so I also put. Let me see if I can open this. Uh, here we go. A blue sky, a what do you call a blue sky post? A blue
Yeah.
sky post from
Yeah.
Federico Vitici, also of Relay FM and Mac Stories.
Yeah.
Put this out. The entire tech industry in 2025. We believe we can achieve artificial general intelligence soon. Apple. Doesn't it suck to create calendar events for birthday parties, guys? So it's just kind of
Yeah.
a little
Yeah.
tone
It is
deaf.
like you had the Grammys the other night, you got the Super Bowl coming up, and it's like, oh, well, we need an invite app. I mean, again, it's very well done. It has some cool features. I,
Yeah,
I'm just
I don't know
confused.
that we need it. Now, how? So I sent you and producer Todd an invite. Sorry, Wes, I didn't think to invite you as well, or hey, Grandma. Um, but what did it work okay? Did it?
Yeah, I will pull up if I do a search. It's got a very cool little logo there, a little envelope with like some party
Okay.
balls coming out of it, confetti.
And so you had to
Um,
download the app to make it work, right? You couldn't do it through the web
yeah, it
or
wasn't working on the thing, but there's your beautiful little
yeah,
invite.
yeah.
It says it's going. So then I can go in there, and there's a way where there's a setting where you can have it create a shared album. So everyone that attends the party can add photos very easily, which is often an issue with
Mm-hmm.
parties. So that
Yeah.
is something it solves. But yeah, very, very Apple-y, very, I think it'll go the way of the Clips app where nobody remembers it exists. But yeah, if I have any events, I'll try to remember to use it.
I think probably the reason you need to be an Apple One subscriber is that shared album
Uh,
because
but shared
you need to
albums
have
don't
extra
use,
storage. I guess if you just bought extra storage. But
I
the way
don't
those
think,
usually work is whoever set the thing up, all the storage is used.
I thought shared albums were not part of your storage.
Yeah. Yeah, I think whoever set it up, that's where all the storage goes. I think.
Well,
Like if I have 10 gigs and people put 5 gigs worth of videos, it takes 5 gigs of my videos out of there. Who do you think pays for the storage? Is it just the individual
just
users?
Apple giving
No.
you the option to do that.
Apple giving you free stuff? Are you crazy?
Huh. Well, I will put a note for us to research that
Yeah.
for next week because I could sit here and Google forever. But yeah, so the Apple Invites app, go check it out. Maybe I'll put one in the show notes for next week's show once we're done. But yeah, you can use Apple Intelligence to create images or use images that any of your photos as kind of this cool background. Dave chose this beautiful red.
Yeah,
Oh, where'd it go?
it's like
That's
a
the guest
red
list.
bow
Bow.
because it was red, which is our kind of our color. So
Yes.
that was on brand. And speaking of
Yeah.
on
So
brand, your hat and that invite look very similar to our next story, uh, as I'm seeing it on here. But
the our main
our
topic.
main topic, yeah,
Yes.
you'll find out in a moment
Oh,
why I'm
yes.
saying that.
Okay. Well, it this Sunday is the Super Bowl, the NFL National Football League Championship. Oh yes, there's the
See,
green and red right
it
there.
there it is. It's
Um,
just like our invite in your hat.
yes, yes. And I saw a couple different articles related to the Super Bowl, so I thought we would talk about that. The first one is, I think, very cool because I do not currently subscribe to live TV in any form and have not set up an antenna.
Yeah,
But Tubi, the app that we have talked about before, I believe producer Todd's a big fan
yeah,
because they put lots of movies on there for their Portland at the Movies podcast. But Tubi is going to be showing the Fox production of the Super Bowl with the pregame show, the halftime show with Kendrick Lamar, uh, all that good stuff for free
wow,
on Tubi. So,
that's pretty
um,
cool.
yeah.
Um, and will it be available? I mean, it'll be available over the air and
Yes,
a
yeah,
bunch
I
of other
believe it's on
places.
it's on Fox, so it is over the air, and it's gonna be 4K on Tubi,
Wow.
and it's a partnership with Fox. So a special takeover of Tubi for the game with no sign-in required.
What about the
So
people
yeah, they're
who
doing the whole production.
what about the people who you're probably wondering what I'm doing. What about the
Yeah.
people who want to watch things that aren't the Super Bowl? Will they still be able to access content?
I know it is weird wording there that it says Fox will be doing a special takeover of Tubi, so maybe they're going to shut everything off. Now, the one downside, which I think is less of a downside for the Super Bowl because you want to watch the commercials.
Yeah.
If you're one of the people that want to skip through the game and just watch the commercials, which does happen, I believe Tubi is live only. I don't think you
Hmm.
can do any time shifting with
Right.
Tubi. You might be able to pause it, but I'm not sure. I
Hmm.
don't think you can skip ahead. But yeah, I thought that was a very, very cool thing because it seems more and more, especially with sports, they're getting more lockdown. But this is going in the other direction. So
Totally.
there you go.
Yeah. So you might have saw there was some activity in the neighborhood there. A dog walked by, so
Mm,
with a human, I believe.
nice.
And if I were
Our
smart, oh, go ahead, go ahead.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Our next Super Bowl related story, directly related from TechSpot. Every angle covered, nearly 250 Sony cameras set, set to capture Super Bowl 59. Is that where we are?
Yeah,
LIX.
yeah. Why they don't just use regular
250
numbers,
cameras.
I don't know.
Uh, you know what's funny is the headline says, oh, it says nearly 250. And then the article says more than 240.
So it's 241, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, they couldn't
Uh,
give
the,
a great number, or maybe
uh,
like they had 50 and then it broke, and that's like now it's
oh, yeah.
240. I don't know.
Yes. Yeah. The hull includes 97 Sony HDC series broadcast camera systems with units strategically positioned at Taylor Swift from every angle. Oh, in
Yeah,
each end zone, along with both sidelines and in various spots throughout the stadium. Yes, that's how 240 cameras work, is that you have them in various spots throughout the stadium.
I
Somebody
mean,
needed to hit their word count on this article.
if 240 cameras are pointing at Taylor Swift, I'm not going to complain about it, but
Yes.
I would like to see the game too.
Yes, the halftime show, meanwhile, will be filmed using more than a dozen Venice 2 cinema cameras. These are,
Wow.
you and I both use Sony cameras
Mm-hmm.
these days, but we are not using that level.
No,
But
they're let's be honest, they kind of are better than the ones that they're going to be using at Super Bowl, but we don't want to brag about it.
yes. Yes, it does say Sony's pro grade cameras have been used to cover NFL's big game for over a decade. Last year, broadcast partner CBS deployed a then record setting 165 Sony cameras for event coverage. But you might remember that Beast Games on Amazon Prime, they had over 1,000 cameras for their initial scenes on that show.
It was
So,
crazy. I've watched the first couple episodes of that,
yeah,
and there were a lot of people
yeah,
there.
impressive production. Um, The halftime show, if you haven't heard, I might have already mentioned it, but that doesn't mean you're listening.
I was
Kendrick
not.
Lamar, the hip hop and rap artist, who has been, I was very surprised by this call because he has had some interesting controversies going recently. But Kendrick Lamar takes over Apple Arcade Hit ahead of Super Bowl halftime performance. So, synth riders in Apple Arcade.
Yeah.
I was meaning to get that fired up on my Vision Pro because I'm a big fan of a lot of Kendrick Lamar's uh, beats. I'll say the beats. The words
Not
aren't
so
always
much.
appropriate, but he has been coming with the bangers
Yeah.
lately in the music industry, and he had some serious beef with Drake. So I'm going to go on the record. I'm going to go on the record. Super Bowl halftime show. Kendrick brings out Drake. They make up. It breaks the internet.
Oh my word. So in this battle between Drake and Kendrick, who's the good guy? Who's the bad guy? What's the what?
Ooh.
What? Why is there a battle going on?
As a
Inform
family
me.
friendly show, we will not touch that with a 10-foot pole. There was
Mm,
a lot of accusations that Kendrick made about Drake. And yes, I take no sides. They both make good beats that
gotcha.
I enjoy.
And lastly, on this, the synth writers, I do have this game for my um, Quest 3
Hmm,
as well. So there you go. You've
there
got
you
the
go.
game on your Apple Vision Pro, and I have it on the Quest 3. So I can play along even though I don't have an Apple Vision Pro.
Yes, very nice. Next up, this is not Super Bowl related because he did not end up making this Super Bowl, but Jayden Daniels, the star rookie quarterback from the Washington Commanders, he has been doing a lot of training with VR headsets and AI programs. And
Hmm.
so there's been a lot of talk about these AI simulations and stuff he's using for training, to be able to get an edge. People are saying it's maybe given him an edge in NFL.
I don't see how a VR simulation could beat just going out and practicing with the guys. But
Well, I think the issue might be, I think he had maybe an injury, so he was able to do some stuff while
oh, okay.
injured. Also, if you're just going to go out with the guys, you have to have a bunch of guys there. So if you
Yeah.
wanted extra time besides practice, so it's not like he did not practice with human beings, but he did additional training
Hmm.
using these
Well, I
technologies.
bet a lot of those other guys are playing Madden on their PS5s
Yeah,
or
well,
whatever.
that's
So,
true. So they've got their advantages, but I was going to see, I don't see in this article that has a lot of words, which headset he might be using. It looked like something
it
uh,
doesn't say. I mean, I skimmed it, but
specialized.
I don't see anything. It's probably one
Yeah.
of those fancy things from Facebook or something that nobody else can use.
Yes. Yes. Something one off for him. And if you are about to turn off the show because you're like, I don't care about the NFL, I don't care about Kendrick,
Can,
Kendrick Lamar, I
well,
don't care about the Super
how
Bowl.
did you read
Well,
my mind?
yes. Football, we've been talking about American football. Well, there
Yeah.
is football. And I
Mm.
found this article. It's pretty cool. So, the Major League Soccer that Apple has the TV rights to, they have some free promos with T-Mobile and Comcast. So with our T-Mobile cellular accounts, we will be able to get the season pass for free with T-Mobile, and
Wow.
they're also doing some free. They're doing some preview games, and then if you have Apple TV Plus, you'll be able to get Sunday Night Soccer for free instead of the additional fee, which I believe is a couple $100. It's $14.99 per month or $99 for a full season pass. Apple TV Plus subscribers get a discounted rate, $12.99 a month or $79 per season. And you can get DirecTV directly through DirecTV. So Apple TV Plus, they're starting to work a lot of these partnerships
Hmm.
where you can get that, through your Comcast subscription or through other things. They're branching out, which is not typical of Apple. But I did for the T-Mobile free subscription to MLS Season Pass, covering all games across the 2025 season, which can watch some Portland Timbers.
But are you though? Do you ever watch any of the Major
The
League
Timbers,
Soccer?
I do try to keep up with. Most of all, if there is a Friday or Saturday night game, I want to keep track of the game so that I can make sure that I time it perfectly to leave the house where I will arrive at the marathon just before the game ends and traffic gets bad, because
Bad.
the bar that I DJ at is right across the street from the stadium. So,
Yeah.
producer Todd in the chat. LOL, Drake is such douche. And every time I hear a song of his, I think it's humorous parody of how terrible current music is. And I summoned Skippy
Yeah,
in
you did.
with the RC till I die, Rose City till I die. He is
Oh wow.
with the Timbers logo on his.
We
Man, the algorithm is working. It
it
sensed
is.
that and got him to pop in.
It finally we finally talked about something that Eric's interested in, so
Yes, the
it
one
summoned him.
5-minute segment of our show that is related to that. But yes, Timbers free with T-Mobile. That's what you need to know on that. All
Yes.
hail the algorithm. He
Yep. It was
says,
perfect
dropped in.
timing for sure.
Well, you know what else it's perfect timing for, Eric? You're here for Dave's pro tip for the week. No pressure, Dave.
Yeah, I
Keep him
almost
on.
forgot.
Can we keep him on the stream?
Well, and while I'm doing this, Nate, double check that you're not doing a backup or something. Your audio is kind of weird, but maybe it's mine. I don't know what's going on. But hey, everybody, it's time for everybody's favorite segment, Dave's Pro Tip of the Week. And this is a tip that we have visited in the past, but I used it today. How many of you out there grow tired of using an app, liking an app, and then they want to put it behind a paywall, some subscription, or they want to put watermarks all over everything unless you pay a subscription or whatever? And honestly, I've been using a scanning app where you take a photo of like a receipt and then you can crop it and send it as a PDF for quite a while. And they've kind of moved to this model where you can still use it, but it's like, well, we're going to put our ad at the bottom. And I'm just like, I'll pay you $10. Just let me pay you. But no, you have to do a subscription. So I went back today. I had to scan 2 receipts for a reimbursement request. Let's talk about that. I think everybody's probably very interested in
reimbursement request.
Yeah, there's this grid and you got to type. So anyway, I got my phone out, my little iPhone, and I'm like, I'm going to revisit scanning documents just with the phone, with no app, no anything else, just the built-in tools. And so if this works, there we go.
And Eric said, still here, still here, still here. Okay, later.
Yeah. Sorry. So, you have a Files app on your phone. If you don't know about the Files app, it has a little folder on there. And it's like, hey, there's stuff downloading. There's, for my downloads, there's maybe Google Drive documents or things that are in my iCloud. And Eric, if you're taking off, good to see you, brother. Or good to talk to you. But if you haven't poked around in the Files app for a while, you should do that. And the screen that I'm on, I happen to be in my downloads folder, which is just one of the, like if you're in Safari and you download something from a website, this is where it lands, right? So in the upper right hand corner, you may notice a circle with 3 dots. You simply tap that, and then there are all these options about how you can select things or the way you want to view the data that's on your screen. But you'll notice on the third one down, it says Scan Documents. And I'm going to tap that, and now you get to see my very filthy desk that Nate and I were just talking about, cables before.
Piles of cables.
Why do I need 37 antique 8 gig, 2 gig, 2 megabyte cards? Well, that's another.
That's the life we live.
That's
so that thing. You don't have to.
And there's my rabbit, AI, whatever it is. So let's pretend that this manual, and it keeps wanting to grab it, from Anchor for previous pick of the week. This charging tree. It did something I didn't want to do. It already scanned it. But if you simply turn on the scan and then hold it above a document, and I'm going to try it for real this time, and then you hold your thing still, boom. I'm going to tap this here, and look at that. Well, it's really hard to see because of the contrast, but I assure you that it is a nice black and white version of this document. Let's try something else on my desk that isn't quite as white and gonna blow out the thing. So let's get off of Anchor here. So here's I'm gonna cover this. I have a Nintendo eShop gift card. Okay.
Ooh.
So it's already been used, but I'm gonna hold it over there. It took a picture. It straightened it. It threw it in my thing. So now here it is. I can choose to change the way. I took it as a full color, and you can adjust this before. I'll show you in a moment. But after the fact, you can say I want it to be grayscale or black and white, or I just want it to be a pure photo. Don't change anything. I'm gonna do color because I think that looks the best. And I can also go back and adjust the corners here because maybe it didn't line it up perfectly. So I'm just gonna put it in that corner, this corner, the upper corner, and the upper corner. And ideally it would have been straighter than it is. And then I'm going to hit done. And there it is. It's cropped very nicely and sharp. And when I'm done, I can click the done button in the upper left-hand corner. It's named very appropriately. Or I can delete it with the trash can in the bottom right-hand corner. So I'm going to hit done. And then I'm going to hit save. Now, I took 4 photos just now. So that's how many it's going to say. But I hit save, And there it is. It threw it in my downloads folder because that's where I was when I started it. And it gave me an opportunity to name it. I'm just going to click away, and it's a scanned document. And when I tap it, it's going to open it back up. There's the page 1, page 2, page 3, and there's Princess
Perfect
Peach there.
PDF.
It's a perfect
Ready
PDF.
for print.
It's a little janky, but I can go back in and delete pages and alter pages, spin pages around. But I'm going to do it one more time because I wanted to show you some of the controls that you can access ahead of time. So I'm going to go into Scan Documents again. At the very top of the page, you'll see there's a little lightning bolt. You can have the flash be on auto, on, or off. I'm going to put it on. And then next to that are 3 circles. And that is the same options that you can choose after you take it. You can do color, grayscale, black and white, but you can set those things ahead of time. And then the very right corner is, do you want it to automatically take a picture like it was doing, or do you want to put it on manual? I'm going to do it manual this time because it got a little crazy trigger happy on the taking it. So I'm going to place it directly over my object. I have the flash turned on, and I'm going to hit the button at the bottom, the white circle, to take the picture. Boom. All right, so let's see. It looks like it did a pretty good job. I'm going to keep the scan, and let's go back into it. Now, it did have it's a glossy card. To combat that, you might want to hold your phone. Here, go away, Peach. You might want to hold your phone at kind of an angle when you take it, so that flash will reflect off versus straight over the top or to the side a little bit. Or if you're in good light, you can turn that off. But most of the time, you're going to be taking pictures of just standard sheets of paper or receipt paper. It's not high gloss like that, so you're not going to get that shine in the middle. But I know that's kind of a long-winded review of the scanner app, and we've talked about it before. But I'm hard-pressed to find a reason to use a third-party app now. One of the only things I can think of is it is nice to have all of those scans that you do inside of just one app. You just go to that app and here's all my scans versus, it's in files and I put it somewhere. I'm not exactly sure where.
Maybe have a scans folder in your files, or file it into something that's receipts and that kind of stuff. But it's an
indispensable tool.
Yeah. And I think that I would guess that most people do not use the Files app just because forever we didn't have anything like that.
Yeah, for years there was nothing like that.
But it is a very good tool to use, and you can do a lot with it.
And if you have
you can
iCloud,
even plug in a thumb drive, and you can access files off that. You can do all kinds of stuff with it. You can also do that, scan documents within the Notes app if you prefer to, if you have a note or a folder in your notes.
And the last time we showed it, it was through the Notes app. I do find, though, for the way my brain works, having a folder with the files in there is better than having like a note that might be in a folder and then the scan goes in the note, but it doesn't go in as a separate item. It goes in as a like a note, and it's an item within the note. So if you're, I suppose, putting together that expense report, you might want to have multiple scans that are contained in one note, but I prefer to just have them all in the same PDF and then store that document separately. So anyway, that's where I'm at with it. And Nate, it looks like you died. Your camera died or something.
Yeah. No,
so I'm just going to continue.
For some reason, my computer just in my back.
The problem is the next segment is called Just the Headlines, and I need Nate to do that.
Am I not?
So while we're waiting for Nate to come back, I'm going to go into our first take, which is Google offers voluntary exit to all U.S. platforms and devices employees. So let's take a look at that. And for those of you listening at home, you're like, you are back. I was gonna say, for those of you listening at home, now you know what the show would be like if Nate's not there. It's very boring because I was about ready to talk about our next article because I can't do just the headlines by myself. I
Yeah.
suppose I could. It'd be less good.
Yeah, well, didn't we try that at the beginning where I was just reading them off for a couple of weeks and then it's like, oh, maybe we should alternate on that would make it a little better. But yes, it is time for everyone's favorite segment, just the headlines. And it was very weird. I was just trying to close some tabs on my computer and the CPU totally spiked and froze and kicked me off the live stream. So that was cool.
Well, I think everything's better now. You know what, Nate? You know what this means? I hate to tell you, you're gonna have to buy a new computer.
Oh,
I think your 16 inch Ultra Mega Max Pro
M1.
Ultra chip that you've
Ugh,
got is time to say goodbye.
yeah.
Adios. Whoops.
Yes, but we do have the driveway cam. We do have a winter weather advisory here in the
Mm-hmm.
Portland area this evening. So I do not see any snowflakes at either of our locations yet, but they've been teasing us with snow this last week,
They've
saying,
been trying hard.
"Oh man,
So I
yeah,
don't. I was going to be all pro and put the winter advisory screen up on that screen, but I don't have that set up. I'm gonna have to do
ah,
that. So here we are. Yes, for our friends down in Australia who are eager to hear local weather forecasts.
yes,
An 80% chance of snow, and tomorrow 90%.
yeah."
So, wow, what are we gonna do?
Yeah, they say maybe up to an inch. So that means we could get absolutely nothing or we could get 2 feet because they really don't know.
They're terrible.
They are
The
terrible.
only job that you can be wrong 90% of the time and still
Yes.
keep your job.
Yes. Well, let us get to just the headlines.
Meta memo threatening to fire leakers is immediately leaked. Zuck says it sucks.
Microsoft Paint gets Copilot button for generative AI features.
Yay. The average American spent 2.5 months on their phone in 2024. That tracks.
Anthropic AI asks job applicants not to use AI in job applications.
That AI restored Beatles song, it won the Grammy for the best rock performance.
Apple now has more than 2.35 billion with a B active devices worldwide.
Netflix is making a Little House on the Prairie reboot.
And those are just the headlines. Was there something wrong with the original Little House on the Prairie? And a
Why do we
reboot
need
just
to
seems
destroy
weird.
everyone's childhood? Let's
Oh,
destroy Transformers for everybody. Let's destroy, although the last animated Transformers movie was pretty good.
hmm.
The other ones,
Yeah, it's
yeah,
for a different time.
different time. Let's remake Back to the Future with Timothy Chalamet,
Oh, yes.
and let's say we could get Willem Dafoe maybe.
Oh, there you go. There you go.
Two other people
Well,
that are in every movie ever.
yeah, yes, indeed. Let us move back onto our takes of the week. And the one Dave started talking about, that Google's offering a voluntary exit to all US platforms and devices employees. So we've kind of had this theme of invites throughout the show. We've got the Apple invites, we've got the Super Bowl invite to watch it for free, we've got the meta memo from just the headlines, and then Google's offering this voluntary exit, which if you get a sweet severance package and maybe you want to go work for a different company,
Those who leave will get
why not?
severance, and the company wants anyone that stays to be deeply committed to its mission.
Yes.
When all your friends are gone, it's hard to be deeply committed. So, yeah, here here's an observation for those of you who aren't following along at home. AI has become a thing the past few years.
Hmm.
And with something, for an example, Chat GPT, you can click in the little text field, type, what is the best place to eat in Portland? Or how tall is the Eiffel Tower? Or what's 2 plus 3? Anything that you would normally go to Google for, you can now
Yep.
use AI. Now, you may get better results, you may get worse results, but for the first time in decades, Google has competition, and
Yeah.
it's really hurting them.
Yes. Yes, that's yeah. So this is, and it is their platforms and devices employees, which have never really taken off. The Pixel phones they do are really, really good, but yeah, they make all their money off of those little ads at the top of search
Yep.
and off of YouTube ads. And so, yeah, it looks like they're doing thin. And you'll remember in the first quarter last year, there was massive tech layoffs. Like every week, we had two or three that were just laying off tons of employees. So this is a little bit different of an approach.
Yeah, I mean, they're going after segments of their company that aren't making a lot of money. They talked about the phones. They don't enjoy near the market share of Samsung and Apple, so it's like,
Yeah.
we got to maybe thin that out a little bit, and the other things that you mentioned. So, but it's all in a response for not making enough money from search, which is really the only place they make money.
Which, yes, floats everything out. So
Yes.
else. Yeah. So speaking of money, we were talking about ChatGPT and their pro plan, their new thing, their whatever that will do stuff for you. I don't even remember the name of it
Your
because there's so many
subscription
AIs.
garbage. Yeah.
Yes, but OpenAI is losing money on its pricey ChatGPT Pro plan. CEO Sam Altman
How is
said,
that?
which this is the $200 per
Oh,
month plan, but they say that people are using this plan, they're getting their money's worth.
they're
So
using it
they're
more than the
actually
company
losing money.
expected. Yeah.
Oh,
This
that's
is
just wild.
this is kind of like the all-you-can-eat buffet, and then the professional PDX fast foodie comes in and
Yes.
just decimates everything.
You just hope that he comes with his wife and daughter who will eat half a plate compared to his 5 plates. It's
And you
a
hope he doesn't come
game of numbers.
with this guy who
Uh,
loves to eat fried chicken and mashed potatoes until there are none left.
yes,
Man,
$2,400 a
make me hungry.
year. Man, that's a whole lot of AI you've got to use every month. But
Yeah. So what are they? Does
uh,
it say what they're doing with this AI? Is it uh, searching
so it's
searching the web? My guess is, if I had to guess, I'm going to answer my own question. It's probably things like image generation, for because that's an intensive thing.
yeah.
So it's like create. I want to create an ad with an airplane and a beach and a lady walking and all that stuff. I mean, of course, there's
Yes.
probably inappropriate stuff you can do with it as well, but that's got to be way more intensive than just typing in a search query or saying, "Can you please create some computer code to do some
Yeah.
programming things?" That's
Well,
my
it does
guess.
say that it lifts the rate limits on its Sora video generator. That would be the thing.
Yeah, the
Uh,
video, that's even
People that
worse
are
than
creating
images.
video, oh,
Yeah,
that's but I'm sure some people, if you're paying $200 a month, you've got some serious use case for
yeah.
the generation stuff. You're like, hey, analyze the whole Bible or do stuff. I will tell you that ChatGPT has some pretty strict limits on their stuff. When I was making the thumbnail with Zuckerberg playing football this
Oh,
week,
and I gotta applaud you, my friend. The thumbnail this week was phenomenal.
yes, and both Google Gemini and ChatGPT would not allow me to make any images with Mark Zuckerberg in it.
So how did
So
you get around that?
Grok
Grok can.
X's Grok AI, which I have access to, and that the only problem with that is it doesn't do widescreen
Okay.
16 by 9 format. So I did, it's like a 4 by 5 it's wide aspect, but it's not 16 by 9, the full, TV screen
Yeah.
size.
I just
So then I
noticed.
used Photoshop's
Yeah.
uh, generative expand tool to create. So it cuts off. You can actually, if you look closely on the back of his shoulder, there's
A
um,
line.
a little bit of a line where I did the Photoshop stuff. I didn't spend a ton of time, and then I think it was about halfway through the football player on the left. So between Grok and Photoshop, you've got a YouTube thumbnail, folks.
Yeah. And just noticed that VR Todd is over in the
Yes,
right side, and Drone Dave is there on the left. So very nice. Very nice touch.
yes. Having some fun with some thumbnails. Our last take of the week, a little security and privacy thing that
Wow.
you came across.
I haven't had to
Uh,
push that button in a long time.
And I'm sure that you are very excited for us to talk about this because this is something you are passionate about. And it is from PC Mag. Time to delete. The most invasive apps list includes some of your favorites. Number 3 will blow you away.
When did I? Because I came across this article again today, but apparently I sent it to you
Huh.
the other day. That's
Yeah, I would
funny.
have to check
That
our
I mean,
show links group chat to
it
see
doesn't. It
Friday.
doesn't matter. Yes. Well, I found it again today, and I was like,
Oh,
oh, I can't believe this, but it's the same
last
article.
Wednesday you came across it,
Well, that's
actually.
why I
The
can't
other ones you
remember
sent
it.
Friday.
I don't remember
Whew.
anything past 24 hours.
Yes.
But I read through the article again today, so very fortuitous that I did. But the 20 most invasive apps, and I'm going to tell you, folks, there are not a lot of surprises here.
Yes.
Not at all. So let's take a look at one. Basically, all of Meta's suite of applications. We've got Facebook, Messenger, Instagram, Threads. 68.6% of personal data is shared with third parties, so well over half. The same amount is collected for developers' advertising or marketing, that's who they're sharing it with. 85.7% of personal data is collected for analytics, which I can give them a pass for analytics if they're using it themselves.
Yeah.
And then 71% data collected for product personalization, which also is not terrible. And then 91.4 collected for app functionality. I mean, okay, they're using way more than other people do.
Yeah.
And then 71.4 collected for other purposes. So that's just an example of what we're seeing here across the board. But we've got the Meta apps, LinkedIn, which is a little bit surprising, Amazon, and
But
then
LinkedIn is like half on the first ones of the
yeah,
Meta stuff. And then,
totally, it goes down by a lot. But number 4 is also a suite of apps, which is no surprise. It's the Google or the alphabet soup of
yeah.
stuff here. We've got YouTube, watch, listen,
Oh, that's
stream.
just
Oh, that's
just
just
YouTube.
YouTube.
They
Okay.
appear several other times on the
It was in
list
the
for
top
their other stuff.
20.
Yeah.
Most of their stuff's top 20. So I'm sorry. You have to go back down to 9 to get to just Google, 11 for Google Pay, 13 for Google Maps, 16 for Gmail, and that's all they have listed. So
Yeah.
basically, most of their most popular apps, they're taking a lot. Were there any surprises on here for you, or did you have a chance to take a look
I
at
d-
the list?
I don't think so. I mean, I know they're using a lot of data. I mean, HBO Max or Max from
Mm-hmm.
HBO, it's on their number 17, which seems kind of interesting. I don't know what all data. I guess you're watching what you're watching. They're sharing with third parties.
Yeah. So
Uh,
what it boils down to, if people haven't known before now, is every app, TV screen, website, billboard with a camera integrated into it, uh, recording device, security camera in the world these days is collecting data. And the fastest way to monetize that data is to sell it to somebody else. Usually an aggregator who wants to put ads in front of you or do whatever. And none of these companies can help themselves because they've built their revenue streams based on stealing or collecting data from their users and then just handing it right off to the next guy. And there are a variety of implications to that. One positive implication is it can direct you to products and services that you may want to use. It can help you utilize those tools better. So if Gmail knows everything that's in your email and you'd say, show me the email to Nate that talked about this article, it can easily find that information. So there are positive uses for this, but some of the more nefarious uses are when, let's say, a weather app is collecting your location data because it needs to know where you are to give you data, and it's turning right around and selling that to some insurance company or some advertiser or something, and they don't disclose this. You think, I just want to look at the weather. But so there are nefarious things that can be done as well. And
Yeah.
Duolingo. So the person who wrote the article said, the apps I didn't expect to see on the list are games such as Candy Crush Saga and Roblox, and language learning app Duolingo. Thankfully, the two apps that serve younger audiences claim to share little to no personal data with third parties. Roblox claims it doesn't share any data, and Candy Crush Saga reports less than 10% of collected personal data goes to other companies. Duolingo shares a much larger percentage of the data with others, 20%, and the rest of the data appears to be used for analytics and functionality. So, yeah, Duolingo is a big surprise, but somebody's got to pay the bills, right?
Yeah.
I'm sure they're taking data about people and selling it to somebody.
Well, and I just
Oh, Nate, I
wonder
can't hear you for some reason.
what?
Is that everybody or maybe just me? I don't know.
I don't know. Anybody,
Oh,
can you
you
hear
appear to be
me?
coming over the show, so I think we're good.
But you can't hear me? Oh, Dave, are
Anybody?
you?
Oh
Oh,
yeah,
Wes can
Wes
hear
said he
me.
can hear you. That's fine. It's my issue.
Yes, but you
I
can't
don't need
hear
to,
me?
I don't need to hear you anyway.
That's odd. Can you both sound good, Wes says. Whoa, Dave is switching off and checking things. Yeah, I'm curious, like Duolingo or Candy Crush, like what personal information do they have from you to share
Well, they'll
with
have your name,
others?
your address,
Yeah, they've your
your
name, but
advertising
like,
ID.
yeah, I guess. I guess. Well, let us cleanse our palate with a fun little bonus odd take I've got this week. And this one, I don't believe it was, no, it is not Neil.fun this week. We had a little streak going, but this
Yeah.
is the caffeine calculator. How much your favorite drink is too much? How much is deadly?
Well, funny story. I was at work and I was waiting for a computer to upgrade, and I typed this in and I laughed out loud, and the person walking by was like, "What?" I'm like, "I'm so sorry," because I typed in coffee,
Yes.
and you can
They have
choose.
a very extensive database of different drinks.
I did K cup coffee because I use Kirkland brand,
Ah,
so it's not. I don't know. It's probably the same, right? My weight it fluctuates, but I'm about 198 right now, and so I'm gonna hit calculate. Boom, your maximum is 4.5 cups per day, and I'm like, oh, okay. And then I laughed out loud when it said, after 135.1 cups, you'll be pushing up daisies. Oh, I just thought that was
yes.
funny. I was not
Yeah.
expecting it to tell me I was going to die if I ate 135 cups of those things. Uh, Makes sense. What's your favorite beverage that has caffeine?
Well, I looked at cold brew coffee, which is the only thing that I drink. Now they have some brand name ones. Starbucks cold brew coffee is what I chose,
Okay.
just because it's close. It has more caffeine than what I drink at home.
How many kilos are
But for
you?
me, it says
Oh,
uh, I measure in pound. Actually, I am 100 kilos
are you
because it's
serious?
an easy calculation with
Okay.
2.2
Why is
pounds to the kilo.
I don't know why it keeps moving around, but 100 kilos Your maximum is only 2.4 cups per day. That stuff must have way more caffeine than my stuff.
And it does say based on a 16-ounce full serving. So that's
That's a pretty
probably,
big cup. That's like 2 cups of coffee.
yeah. Well, when you're drinking cold brew, you do it different. I drink out of, it's almost a 20 ounce. It's actually a Starbucks cup, but I would guess that my cold brew that I make at home probably has half the caffeine
Mm.
of what Starbucks, but yeah, 73.2 cups of Starbucks cold brew coffee is a lethal dose, which drinking that in one day, I would say,
This thing is kind of pointless. I got to be honest with you.
yeah, well, because you can't do it. Oh, Wes did say I gave Candy Crush my social security number just to be safe.
I'm sure they
Back
ask
on the
for it when
last
you
one.
sign up. Yeah.
Yes.
So always, we talked about it last week, but always be weary of apps that ask for information that have nothing to do with the
Yeah.
app itself. Like, we're going to have access to your contact list or your camera for some weird reason, or all of your photos because you might want to upload a picture for your user profile or something like that. Mostly it's innocent, but who knows? Maybe they're uploading all your photos and selling them to train on AI, and you don't know anything about it. So anyway, back to this. I think it's kind of silly because 2.5 cups is safe. More than that's probably not good for you, but man, it's going to take a lot to kill you.
Yes. Yes. So where all that to be said, it is very unlikely that you will die of caffeine overdose. So we're
Yeah.
doing a public service to let you know that.
Excuse me, even I'm bored by our show.
Yes. And before Dave falls asleep, let's get to our picks of the week. And
So,
I got to use my green microphone
yay,
cover since
because,
I'm going no green screen.
right, awesome. Well, today I kind of pivoted a little bit.
Mm.
And instead of picking a product, which I have one down there that finally came in after like 3 months of ordering it, I don't think we've talked about, but I'm going to save that and I'll probably forget about it next week. I thought I would talk about a person today. And this person is none other than YouTube extraordinaire Rene Ritchie. And
Yes.
Nate and I used to be big fans of Rene Ritchie. He had great, concise, well written tech reviews and opinions. And he's the guy that says, it just makes the kind of sense that does. And he's got tons of really crazy inside quotes to things that don't even know about. But anyway, entertaining while delivering a fire hose of information in a few minute video. So I like this tech person. But then he got hired by YouTube to be their liaison. And
Yes,
stopped
the
making
creator liaison.
Yeah, and he stopped making content. But I stayed subscribed. But look at this.
Oh, he's back.
He's back. And so 11 months ago on this video over here, he did a video 11 months ago, and then crickets until 2 weeks ago he did a video. 8 days ago he did a video. 1 day ago he did a video. And full disclosure, in his latest video he does bleep out swear words, but he seems a little more spicy than he used to be. He's dropping some F-bombs.
Wow.
So I maybe he's
As
married
the
now.
creator liaison, that is not something YouTube encourages,
Yeah.
but that's why he bleeped them
They're
out.
bleeped
Maybe
out.
he's just showing how, being an example to other
Yeah.
creators on YouTube of how to do it.
Yeah, it's still very safe for work, but he's got a little more spicy language that gets bleeped out. And then, of course, as we mentioned, he is the YouTube creator liaison. And I just subscribed to this channel today, but he has been making content and shorts, or maybe it's people of his team or whatever is doing it. But so he's been making stuff.
Cool.
There's something from 3 months ago, but it's not been on his main channel. So anyway, he appears to be back in action, making content. 3 videos in 2 weeks. That's more than we've made in 2 years.
Yes. And as the creator liaison, he does, I see some of his stuff like on other social media, they'll post videos just about what's like the whole thing with YouTube Shorts going from 60 seconds up to 3 minutes. He did, even though they rolled it out horribly, he did some good content on that. So he is a great person to kind of be that face and that partner for YouTube. So that is, I stick by your pick. And my
Yes.
pick this week, you might remember several, I don't know, maybe a month or so ago, I picked this new MagSafe charger car mount. And Dave, if you'll remember, on our way to the airport to go to CES,
Yes, I do remember that.
that my car mount kept falling off of my dash. The sticky, so it's got the suction cup.
This is
but
the
then
cobbler has no shoes.
yes,
Cobbler's
yes.
children have no shoes.
So it has a suction cup, which didn't work on my dash, but then it has a plastic piece with adhesive that would stick to the dash. The suction worked well with that, but the adhesive was not great. So I was like, you know what? Other adhesives exist.
Yeah, they
So
do.
I picked up the 3M double-sided mounting tape VHB 0.5 inch by 15.4 feet, 0.025 inch thick, black 5925 heavy duty foam tape, strong adhesive for car, decor, home, office logos.
Only
But
those things, though.
yes, we've talked about 3M products in the past, but this is a very thin foam. It's black, and you can put it on there. And I actually, the first time I didn't get it on there just right, and I was able to peel it up easily and clean it off and re-adhese it.
I'm pretty sure that's the correct usage there.
But I forget what I paid for it. I think it was $6-7
Well,
for this.
it's $8.99 right now with a 10% discount.
Oh, yes.
For a
But
15.4 roll there. That's
always
nice.
a good reminder that there are so many adhesive, especially the 3M stuff with all their sticky strips. And this actually came with a VHB application guide. Approximate time and two are put together. Achieve ultimate bond strength. So it tells you some tips on there and how to use it. But they're using gloves to do it, and they're doing like doors and windows with this stuff.
Huh. So it better hold your stupid magnetic charging
and
mount.
So far it has been doing excellent. My MagSafe charging car mount is doing delightful now.
Now when you drive downtown, it doesn't fall off while you're on the big bridge and you swerve and then fall off. It's like 80 feet down into the river.
Well, and the worst is then it falls down and the windshield wiper lever's right there, so it turns on the windshield wipers. It was comical. I need a camera inside my car for such antics. But if you would like to go find Rene Ritchie or buy some of my sticky tape or previous picks, head over to notpicks.com. We've got a ton of stuff there. We've some affiliate links, Amazon affiliate links. Help support the show when you buy through there. Years worth of great stuff to check out. There's my car mount right down there at the bottom.
Yeah. And if you need to buy a 3D printer.
Yeah.
Or
we buy so much technology and we put it there. So if you're looking for something, or if you're not looking for something but want to spend some money, go check it out. And
now, if you are either one of our wives, the correct URL is notpicks.com/cheap.
Cheap, yes, and the under $20 category.
They are not allowed to look at all the other things that we. Yeah, look at this. Jinkies from Nerdwax.
Those things are so cool.
What a wonderful thing. You know what we ought to do is we should have our picks of the week, and then we should have a legacy pick of the week that we just talk about.
Oh, yes, we should. And producer Todd in the chat, yes, happy birthday, Todd. Weren't you guys going to buy me that Sony vlog camera for my 50th birthday this past Saturday? And we totally forgot. We were talking about that, and then it was it out of stock or was it, I forget, Dave.
We tried to, and the manufacturer said that they could not meet our demand. So I
Yeah.
tried to. There are several. I tried Best Buy. I tried. Uh, what's the one that went out of business?
Circuit City,
Fry's
Incredible
Electronics.
Universe,
I tried
Radio
all those
Shack.
places. None of them had it. They wouldn't
Yeah.
even pick up the phone.
Ugh.
What is this? Why are these images?
No, I
Oh,
left some images on there
oh,
from
Nate.
another pic. I
Oh,
duplicate the pics and then update the information.
okay.
And
So never mind. I meant to click on the Amazon one. Oh, look at that. I think. Shoot, I
oh,
should have never done this. We could get it overnight. Uh,
yes.
uh-oh. Technical different. Is this thing on? What?
Hey,
Technical
yeah, well,
difficulties.
moving on to our Ramazon purchase of the week. Thank you guys. I go look at the anonymous reports and find something interesting that you guys bought. And this week we've got
Oh,
the P Keep large digital display digital alarm clock for bedrooms, date, day of week, temp, desk, table clocks for living room, office, dimmable plug in electric clock, 5 volumes, loud auto DST.
wow. Good job.
That
And it's
some
by
of that doesn't even make
the
sense.
household brand Peakeep, as everyone is
Yes.
aware of.
Uh,
So this looks like something I need to have in my studio here because I have been
yeah,
fighting my old iPad mini and this app that I used to like called Flip Clock, where it looks like an old style flippity clock,
yeah.
but the
Yeah,
time is
there's
like a
one
minute and a
problem
half
with
off.
it. It doesn't keep the
It's a
time.
minute off, and it's like, come on, you're a computer. Nothing should ever be a minute off. But this
Yes.
thing, look at that giant clock. It shows the
Yeah.
day of the week. I don't know why it has the clock twice. Maybe you could have a different time zone or something.
That's month and
Oh,
day.
that's month and
It
day.
just looks confusing
They
because
should have
they have,
chose a different month and day, like
yeah,
31st or something, so I wasn't confused. But
yes,
yes,
I noticed from other pictures.
very, very cool.
Oh, it's got battery backup. I don't understand in the title the dimmable plug. I don't know how dimmable plugs work.
Does the plug give off light, I wonder?
I don't know.
Well,
Loud alarm clock for heavy sleepers,
here,
adjustable
and
brightness.
you can
Yeah, the
hear the.
battery backup, that's a nice little feature to have that built in. But yeah, that's a cool looking 1899, 4.6 stars on 490 ratings,
Wow.
1,000 plus bought in the past month.
Now,
So if that was you, let us know
here's
how that
something
clock's working for you.
I was thinking why it might not work for me. One, I don't see seconds. I want
Yeah, yep.
seconds.
I was going to say the exact same thing. I would want one with seconds on it.
And the other thing is, it seems to just be a standard clock. It's not connected to an atomic clock or the internet in any way. Because I
Mm,
want it to be, I don't know if you guys know this about me. I want it to be exactly, not 2 seconds off, no, exactly the time.
yeah.
Some people don't care. Most people, you shouldn't care exactly what time it is, but I care. So there you
Yes.
go.
Yes. Large clock with seconds. Let's search for that on Amazon.
What? Why are you searching
Yeah,
again?
there are some. Oh, for a clock with
Oh,
seconds.
seconds.
Oh, $100 for the one with seconds on it. Oh no, there's another one, $40.
Hmm.
I don't really care about the weather, the date. I mean, I always
Yeah.
have my watch on and I don't need an alarm clock. But yeah, for a use case like where you're trying to see if it's 6:30 yet and we should go live.
Yeah. That's my whole thing. But I have access to other things. I actually wear a watch on my hand that I
Yes.
could look at. So that's not a problem. But I do want to commend this purchaser for finding a clock that has all the features a typical person would want
Yes.
for under $20. And there's a coupon. So
Yeah.
I think that's a good. If I were to guess, maybe this person has a garage, or maybe they're a YouTuber like
Mm,
us, and they're like, I want to see what time it is across
yeah.
the hallway. Very nice,
Yes,
and it
indeed. The
USB-C
P
powered.
Keep looks like they make they've got a rainbow one. P Keep's got all kinds of clock options. The number 25 name in clocks on Amazon.
That's all they do, and I really appreciate companies that stay in their lane. Look at this,
Yes.
every clock
Yeah, there's
imaginable.
no belts or
Right.
Wow, they've got a lot of options there.
You and I are just gonna we've
Scroll clocks
we
for a while.
found our niche here. I
You have
like
now
clocks.
entered the bonus show where we just stare at products on Amazon.
No, it's our new show called All About Clocks.
Yes,
I'd watch that.
all the time.
Ooh, it's time
Trademark
for
it.
clocks. That's the
Thanks.
clock time.
Yes, it is.
The
Well,
titles write themselves.
they do. They do. I think it is time to wrap
It's
up the
overtime.
episode. We are in overtime. Thank you to everybody that joined the live, joined the chat. We love that, interacting with you guys when we remember to look at the chat. But you can always watch it later on YouTube or find the audio in your podcast apps. But thank you, Wes, with the good show comment to end things out. We will take it so you can all get out there and tech better.